white teeth, and the kind of easy, good-looking features that only aged well. Doesn't matter what he looks like on the outside. He's a monster.
Every time I work on a patient, I wonder, what is it like without the anesthesia?
Sick freak.
But not just any patient works for me. I need the special ones.
He moved toward her face, and she knew he was going to slice her again. He lifted the scalpel and pressed it to her cheek. The fingers on her right hand jerked. Wait, did I do that? Had her hand jerked just because of some reflex? Or were the drugs wearing off? He'd drugged her when she'd first walked into the basement with him. Then he'd undressed her, put her on the operating table, and strapped her down. But before he could touch her anymore, he'd been called away. The guy had gotten a text and rushed off to surgery to save a patient. She wasn't even sure how long he'd been gone. She'd been trapped on that operating table, staring up at the bright light the whole time he'd been gone. In her mind, she'd been screaming again and again for help that never came.
You and I are going to have so much fun, and those beautiful eyes of yours will show me everything that you feel.
He paused.
I'll be taking those eyes before I'm done.
Her right hand moved again. She'd made it move. The drugs he'd given her were wearing off. His mistake. She often responded in unusual ways to medicine.
Hell, that was one of the reasons she'd gone into medicine in the first place.
When she was 6, she'd almost died after taking an over-the-counter children's pain medication. Her body processed medicines differently. She'd wanted to know why. Wanted to know how to predict who would have adverse reactions after she'd gone into cardiac arrest from a simple aspirin. It's not just my eyes that are different. I'm different. But her mother had been the main reason for her drive to enter the field of medicine. Macey had been forced to watch, helplessly, as cancer destroyed her beautiful mother. She'd wanted to make a change after her mother's death. She'd wanted to help people. I never wanted to die like this. But now she could move her left hand. Daniel wasn't paying any attention to her fingers, though. He was holding that scalpel right beneath her eye and staring down at her. She couldn't see his face. He was just a blur of dots, courtesy of that bright light. She twisted her right hand and caught the edge of the strap. She began to slide her hand loose.
The eyes will be last,
he told her, as if he'd just come to some major decision.
I've got to explore every inch of you to see why you're different. It's for the good of science. It's always for the good, for the betterment of mankind. A few have to suffer.
He made a faint, sound.
Though I wonder about you, about us. With your mind, maybe we could have worked together.
And maybe he was insane. No, there wasn't any maybe about that. She'd gotten her right hand free, and her left was working diligently on the strap. Her legs were still secured, so she wasn't going to be able to just jump off the table. Macey wasn't even sure if her legs would hold her. The drug was still in her body, but it was fading fast.
But you aren't like that, are you, Dr. Knight?
Now his voice had turned hard.
I watched you, followed you, kept my gaze on you when you thought no one was looking.
She'd felt hunted for days, for weeks. But she'd tried to tell herself she was just being silly. She worked a lot, and the stress of the job had been making her imagine things. She was in her final few weeks of residency work, and everyone knew those hours were killer. Only in her case, they literally were.
You don't get that we can't always save every patient. Sometimes the patients die, and it is a learning experience for everyone.
Bullshit. He was just trying to justify his insanity.
You see things in black and white,